Hello, hello. Welcome in. Let's see if this sticks. I don't feel like cleaning my whiteboard. I don't think this is gonna stick, you guys. I bet that's gonna fall. Let's see if my prediction... Yep, bet. Don't need to be a tarot reader to be psychic, right? Will this stay right here? Ugh. Whatever. This is how much we're going with the flow of it for 2026. How's everyone doing? Are you feeling that new energy? We have an eclipse right before my birthday, mid-February. Hi, Night Moonlight 444. Aha, the 444 gang. Yes, my tribe is finding me. I knew the algorithm will work itself out. Well, apparently, this does not want to stay. So, let's see if we can find... Can we put it on bird? Please stay on bird. I wish bird had a paper clip. Then this would be perfect. We're just waiting for people to enter the room. But if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I'm a tarot reader and intuitive coach for the last, now that it's 2026, 6 years. 6 years being a tarot reader and being devoted to the spiritual path. We've been on YouTube for about 2 to 3 years since the winter of 2023, doing shorts, and then we moved over to lives last year. And now I'm just kind of juggling it all, trying to maintain it, and then launching my son's YouTube channel. So that's been a whole thing. I do have some YouTube about me videos if you're curious about my awakening story, how I became a tarot reader, because it wasn't always a thing. I have a lot of side quest stories, I guess you could say, and a lot of people ask me about my manifestation journeys, and so I do plan to add more videos and include those stories as time goes on and we get to know each other. But honestly, I just always be doing too much. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, but I get really bored with what I do, and so I tend to jump around a lot. So if you're one of those people that expects a channel and expects the creator to be a certain way all the time, then this place is not for you, because I tend to change it up very often. And so I basically use this as a way to express freely and have freedom of creative expression, however you want to put it, because I do like writing, poetry, I like photography, I like film, I like acting, I like painting, like I like all of it, and I just think it's fun to taste test life. And so this is just me sharing my journey with that. But the YouTube channel itself has been more so about talking about my own personal experience and then doing readings for other people so that they live in their purpose. I tend to attract a lot of newly awakened or people that are tapping into their own psychic or spiritual gifts. But not always. Sometimes people just find me to get like one reading and that's it. But for some people, it is more of like a coaching experience. Hey, Wavy by Breeze, welcome in. Where are you from? I wonder if Brandon will make it in today. Does anybody have a question? Hi, Jasmine Jazzy Jazz. That's not the same jazz that I'm thinking of, is it? I'm biting my nails. Jasmine, jazzy, jazzy, jazz. I applied for a job at UCLA. Well, I got hired for the per diem position. Your first time here? Well, welcome in. Please like, share, and subscribe if this resonates with you. Wendy4398. Probably you'll get hired. What makes you say that, Wendy? Are you also an intuitive? I do tell my chat members to make sure to create a safe space, a safe energetic space. Like, you shouldn't just go tapping into other people's energy. I'm very big on spiritual hygiene. So if people are coming here to get free readings, don't go just reading people's energy in the chat. Or, you know, go start your own channel and go do that. But, see? Nice to meet you. Jasmine, I applied for a job at UCLA. Well, I get hired for the per diem position. I'm trying to leave my toxic job. Okay, slow down, Wendy. Let me get to Jasmine first. You might have to pop in your question again, depending how the chat goes. Show me Jasmine. What's going on with Jasmine's job? What does she need to know? Three of Wands, the Queen of Cups, Page of Swords, the Tower, the Magician, the Ace of Cups. Will you get to leave your current toxic job? Yes. So I do think you're going to get hired for the new position. However, there's something about reading between the fine lines of whatever you're signing, because whatever might have been talked about or agreed on might not necessarily be in line with your integrity or values. I don't know what this is about. However, I just want to say, you guys, like, I am one of those tarot readers as an Aquarius sun. If you know anything about astrology, you'll follow what I'm saying, that I can predict very far outcomes. However, there are some things that you need to experience to gain wisdom and lessons. So although I don't think you're going to be staying at this new job, you are supposed to go towards it. So I would just be mindful of that. I don't say that to like make you nervous and to make you like not go forward and take this job. I just want you to be very realistic, because for me, I know I found like when I've had readings and I was in transition of jobs, a lot of the times, like, some readers, like, I think they knew but didn't tell me that like I wasn't gonna stay there, because it would have just like shook me up, and it was something that I was supposed to experience. So I just want you to be aware of that, this is like one small stepping stone in the right direction, just FYI. So if you're someone that's like fast about the climb and like planning, apparently Spirit is pushing you towards going in the opposite direction. And it has something to do with how you feel at work. Understandable? Yeah, let me know if that makes sense. Like, say you were like in a very strict HR type of environment. This Spirit is like pushing you in a different direction because they want you to focus on your emotional body, apparently. Yeah, I'm going into this temporarily because I'm trying to go back to school for my actual career. Yes, it does make sense. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Good. I hope that answers your question. It looks very good. You had a lot of major arcana in here. And it looks like a lesson on discerning how you process information is what they're saying. Because you're really good about looking at the details, but you're not good at paying attention to how you feel and taking action on those details. Like there's some kind of block between your emotional body and your logical sense, and this impacts your work and what you do in your career, apparently. I don't know if you know this, but that is kind of the focus that spirit is pushing you towards with this whole career, job shift, life experience. I know that's kind of crazy, but yeah. Yeah, HIA management is trying to fire me because I'm speaking up about harassment for my coworkers. HR, I mean. Haha, I love that. Truth teller in the room. Well, welcome to the tribe, because I've been in like so many kinds of scenarios just like that. So I love when energy meets its community, right? And it's sad I'm being retaliated against for speaking up. Yes, it's sad, but also remember that you're probably one of those people, just like myself, that are meant to walk into rooms and shake shit up. So, I mean, you know, not everybody is meant to live in the vibration of the truth. We all know that, like, the baseline of the 3D world is greed and low vibrational. So how can you really expect, you know, the physical realm to respond any differently, Jasmine? I'm just like, I hate to like throw in my spiritual 2 cents in there, but I just hope that gives you like more of a radical acceptance of what you're going through, because like I said, the cards were really good. You're doing exactly what you should be doing. Yes, there are obstacles and pushback, but it is like one of those spiritual lessons that I think are uniquely designed for you. And it's very often that like people that are truth tellers, trailblazers, black sheep, scapegoats, those kind of people find me. I don't know how, probably because I'm the same way. Law of attraction, right? And so Miriam and I were just talking about this, how important it is to have witnesses on your spiritual journey, because like, you know, you go through dark nights of the soul and you have like no one to witness that with. And, you know, if we talk about like the astrology layer, you know, the spiritual realm and the dark night of the soul, that is Neptune energy. And the shadow of Neptune is paranoia, man. And so you're living in the illusions of like narcissists and people that manipulate. That's that kind of in between energy. Does that make sense? Let me know if you guys are following or if I'm going way too far down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I really did shake things up, and now look at me, I'm on the verge of losing my job. But only to lead you in the right direction of your alignment, right? So yeah, you might be temporarily losing your job, but you're going to be happier and more fulfilled once, you know, all that is sorted out. So just keep going. So I'm taking the leap, and I applied to the company I always wanted to work at. I had an interview, but they chose someone else for the position, and I applied for a different position, so I'm still hopeful. Yes, makes a lot of sense. I'm actually like really excited for you. Wendy4398 following. Thank you. Wendy, you actually had a question, right? Can you pop it in again so I don't have to scroll? Okay, while we wait for Wendy's question, you're welcome, Jasmine. I was talking on my Instagram stories. We're taking a step back from all the Meta platforms because I freaking hate Meta, but Instagram is technically where a lot of my clients ended up finding me outside of these small Facebook groups when I did tarot readings when I first started. But recently, Miriam and I, if you don't know Miriam, I talk about her a lot. She also has her own channel with Heather. She used to be known as Point Your Compass on YouTube, but her channel got shut down a couple times. But we've been playing back and forth with ideas on business things. And, you know, we did the Real World Astrology podcast, and we're still adding things into it. But the main focus right now is Woke One's Revolution. So if you're interested in astrology, go ahead and check out that channel, because I refer to that information a lot because they are my friends and Miriam is my mentor. And so we did our annual birth chart dig with my son and I as a synastry. And on top of that, we talked about a idea that we have and a social experiment that I think a lot of people might be interested in. So if you're into energy, law of attraction, manifesting, I think this might pique your interest. So stay tuned for that. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and find me there to take a peek at some things that I'm posting about it. But as far as like regular posting on there, yeah, that's not going to really be much of a thing, I don't think. Wendy, will my lobster boat be profitable this year? Last season, my motor blew up. It was a complete loss. I got a new engine, and I'm hoping for the best. Hi, Cinderella. You'll have to pop your question back in after I'm finishing Wendy first. But I appreciate you being a new subscriber. Brandon. Yes, as Brandon said, if you guys are new here, Brandon is a moderator. He actually came from Miriam's network, and he's been consistent here. And I find that like so ironic, but also like not. Like totally Brandon was meant to be here. We were like talking about that topic of like his placement, his spiritual placement. And I think he's utilizing his Gemini traits very uniquely, exactly the way he's supposed to. But yeah, Woke One's Revolution, there are periods in between those words, just FYI. I feel like I might have shared them on the community page, but if not, I might need to do that soon. But anyway, we're going to zoom in on Wendy's question. And don't blow up the chat too much because you'll have to pop in your question again. You might need to refer to Brandon if the chat gets too busy and we have to get like a list going. Because you guys get like really specific about your questions, and I find that hilarious because I am also very detailed oriented. Show me Wendy, her lobster boat. What's going on with this business? Will it be profitable? Show me Wendy's lobster boat situation. Two of Swords in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles, the Lovers. Okay, there's a lot of talking going on. The Hanged Man, the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, what is it? The Devil, the Eight of Cups, Knight of Cups. Okay, why? Ace of Cups, Magician, the Tower. Sorry, I know I'm being very quiet, Wendy, but they're very chatty. Your guides are very chatty. Can you show me some guidance cards for Wendy? You know, I tell everybody, anybody can get a tarot deck and you can get some kind of use out of it. You don't have to claim to be a psychic or a reader, but it's shadow work that helps you gain more details in your tarot readings. But also not everybody is meant to be a reader for others. Like, I don't think everybody should go charging services just because you think you can read cards. And not everybody is a channeler. I don't know if that's making any sense, but for me, a lot of the times I'll tap into my guides and the person that I'm reading for. But I know that's not the same for everyone. Wendy, here's what I will say. I have a very hard time focusing on your reading. And what I think it is, I've had this issue with other people's readings before. I don't know if you have a hard time focusing or if you have like kind of ADHD kind of thing, or if you like have a lot of hobbies and you're pulled in many different directions. I get that kind of feeling. I feel like what's happening is I don't feel like you're asking the right question here. You're asking about your lobster boat business, if it'll be profitable. However, do you got other businesses going on? Because I actually think that might be more of a focus, if anything. And it looks like what the universe is doing is it's wanting you to refine what's going on in your life. You got a little bit too much going on. And man, as we are, we were just talking about me and Miriam and what we are launching in the social experiment we're doing. So in this social experiment, whoever participates will eventually put it together into a book to sell to people. And it is, in our opinion, the foundation that I feel like the collective, the mainstream media is missing when it comes to the stability and security that comes with manifesting. And it has a lot to do with the sense of self. And now we can go into the topic of how a lot of astrologers say that we just ended an era of the narcissism being exposed. But now that it's exposed, how do we recover and build more consciousness and awareness? And, everybody that has been, revealed doesn't mean that they're going to, accept the healthier, elevated version. But for those that do choose to, with the new wave of newly awakened, those kind of things are going to be really important when you're learning how to manifest. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't talk about, like the way people are moved by the moon and their emotions. It would make a lot of sense to make sure that your inner self does not move with that. And so we wouldn't have to be as Mercury retrograde is right around the corner, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? I know we're kind of going off topic, Wendy, but this kind of applies to what's going on right here with your reading. I was like, you have so much going on and you're talking about one portion of your life. So I'm going to scroll. Okay, so I see you're talking. That's a really genuine take on it. I am diagnosed with ADHD and very pulled in different directions, planning a wedding and on vacation. No, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't just ramble everybody's ear off for who knows how long that was. We're already at 23 minutes. That's crazy. So I'm honestly I'm already starting to forget what the heck we talked about with your reading, but hopefully that resonated in some way. I guess to zoom in on that business, I don't know if it's going to go the way that you want it to. Let me just say that. I would be open-minded to, here's what I will say. Don't freak out because I see there's a lot of money involved, right? And you got a wedding going on, okay? When the universe closes a door, please listen to it. Yes, sometimes obstacles are the way. There's a good book on that. One of my fitness coaches that I had from back in the day, a few years ago, he recommended me Ryan Holiday's whole book line. And Obstacle is the Way is a great book to check out to kind of reframe your mindset. But there's also another side where sometimes that door is meant to be closed, but sometimes there's a window. So maybe not your way, but something better, right? And so you might want to be more open-minded about where the universe and spirit is trying to push you. They say that intuition is nothing without action. The more you take action on your intuition, the stronger your discernment is. Now, I feel like you might have been not listening to your intuition because the tower is here. The tower only comes, and I know the tower in tarot looks very dramatic, and sometimes it isn't always a negative thing, but it does represent a spiritual awakening. It also reflects an elevated consciousness due to something breaking down because there was no foundation. You guys see how I went on a rant about how me and Miriam are trying to put this thing together about the foundation of manifestation. And sometimes that foundation of our manifestation has to come from a desire inside of ourselves that is distorted. And the reason why it might be distorted is because your desires might contradict something else because it's coming from a wounding. Does that make sense? That's why shadow work is so freaking important, you guys, when it comes to like manifesting and tarot and astrology. Like, I feel like people put it out there and just like say affirmations all the time, but that's really what it is, you know? Yeah, and so like the Knight of Cups doesn't usually come out unless it's a fickle kind of energy. And that doesn't make him a bad guy. He's just, you know, romantic and kind of flighty and going with his feelings. And, you know, we don't feel the same every day, right? That's what the Knight of Cups would represent. So I don't think it has, I'm not like trying to say like you're doing something wrong. I do think like you're meant to go through this experience so that you can pay attention to what you might be romanticizing and idealizing. That's not, I think, ideal for what you're trying to build in the long term. There's also something here about economy shifts that I think a lot of people are not expecting, or you might have just been ignoring it. So a lot of this is due to like if you live in the US, depending what state you live in, you might be impacted by a lot of things that are going on in the government. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. Okay. Moving on. Damn, that's accurate as hell. Well, thank you. Welcome to the tribe. Keep me posted. Hopefully we get to witness your journey. I tend to attract a lot of people that are business owners and entrepreneurs, so I love to see what you guys create and build as time goes on. Hey, Nataria, I see your question. You're kind of spamming again. You're welcome. Well, I win my court case. 991996. Show me Natari. Will they win? Cinderella was next. I didn't see her thing at all. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, you know how it is. I can't scroll through the chat or I'll get lost in the sauce. She didn't ask a question. Okay, well, we're going to go with Natari because that's the question that I see. And if you stick around, we can get to Cinderella. Is Cinderella optimistic lover girl? Or is that a different person? Natari, will they win their court case? Why do I always get people with court cases? One of my reader friends that lives in Washington, I did a live reading with her, and I was saying how a lot of the times when I get the justice card, that it has something to do with a court case that my client is going through. And she was like, really? Because when I get that card, that it has nothing to do with that. And I was like, I have no idea. Maybe law of attraction, because I deal with like my whole life. My whole life, ever since I was a little girl, I've dealt with a lot of lawyers, judges, court things in some kind of form or fashion. It's super weird, you guys. It comes from a past life. And so I end up with a lot of people that have readings about court things. I'm like, that's so funny to me. I'm not saying it's great. I mean, we always have legal disclaimers, right? You shouldn't, you know, we're not attorneys, obviously, but can you strategize with tarot? Maybe. Maybe. Show me Natari. Will they go win the court case? What's going on there? What do they need to know about that situation? So if there was a secret, that's coming out. The Magician, the Four of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. 4, 5, 6. Okay, very specific, Natari. What they're asking is, how much do you want to lose? So, I'm surprised not to see the Five of Swords here. Oh, hilarious. You guys saw that, right? You guys saw what I just did, right? You cannot make this shit up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because in court situations, sometimes it'd be like this. The system is rigged. So the question is, I guess a better question to ask is, how much do you want to lose? Are you really going to win? And I would ask, what are you trying to win at the end of the day? Because the Five of Swords is someone that's trying to win at all costs. Yet we see this dude freaking bleeding, right? And he's like, woo, woo, victory, right? And then there's this guy that has like a headache, but he's got a crow friend. I don't know. This card is messy, right? It's a very questionable kind of energy. I would say, what is really worth it to you? Because this reading calls more for peace. And like I've said, like, I've dealt with a lot of those kind of situations my whole life, but especially in my young adult life. Like, I didn't get into tarot, you guys, until I went through my separation and a divorce process. And it was like a whole thing. But that was a question that I had to ask myself spiritually was, you know, at the end of the day, you want peace. And what do you have to surrender? What do you have to let go? What do you have to end for things to really end? Because this looks like a very long process. I really need to know because it's a property case. Well, I mean, yeah, it looks like a spiritual decision. I don't tell people what to do. I don't. I might have some guidance and advice sometimes, but I will, I'll just say what Spirit wants to say, and that's what Spirit wanted to say. I feel like you have a chance to change the direction. Otherwise, the Death card wouldn't be here because, gosh, there's so much that goes into this card as a spiritual process, you guys. But you will be different. Like, your DNA, your genetics will be different at the end of the process of the Death card. That's how long of a process it is. Think Pluto energy. It's a very long transit, right? The case is against my father, ma'am. Yeah, well, I'm seeing that. I am seeing that there's family and emotional harmony issue, things like that going on. Yes. I'm like thinking of like so many stories I can share with you guys about some horrible court cases I've witnessed and not just experienced. Here's what I want to say, Natari. Will you win? The answer was, what do you win at the end of the day? Like, if you're fighting with family members because you want an extra $5,000 when you could settle within the next 3 months and find some peace in the situation, that's what I'm going to say. Moving on. You have to make that decision for yourself. What is worth it to you was the question. So your answer actually just had more questions, I guess. If you guys are on Instagram, go ahead and find me there, my tarot page. I have an Instagram post about how to ask the right questions with tarot, because then we will be sitting here all day. Otherwise, you guys are welcome to reach out to me for a personal reading. I always share my links on the community page, but I have emailed readings, pre-recorded videos, and also virtual calls. Virtual calls are kind of hard to schedule depending what kind of time zone you're in, and I also have other projects and work that I do, but otherwise, pre-recorded videos are kind of cool because I send you a private YouTube link that you can keep forever and rewatch. I just recently got my coaching member, Monique. She's had a few rounds with me, and I was negotiating with her to do the pre-recorded videos instead of our regular emailed readings, because she's more of a visual person and less of a reader. So I felt like it was more fitting for her anyway. And we always send each other voice messages on Instagram. So I was like, well, I know like some people like have a thing about listening to my voice for some reason. And I'm like, I don't know why, because I'm so annoying. But apparently sometimes it can be comforting in a coaching sense. And I do find that sense of comfort with Miriam. So like I'll re-watch me and Miriam's readings, and sometimes it's just to listen to her voice. I find it so interesting. So interesting. I believe her Venus is in Cancer, and so that's very mother energy, and I think that is why. Like, it just feels so nurturing to be in her energetic presence, and so I'm honored to offer some kind of slice of that. You're welcome, Natari. I just kind of miraculously showed up. Brandon, that's funny because at the beginning of the video, I was like, I wonder if Brandon's gonna pop up. Optimistic lover girl. Let's see what comes out. Freestyle for Lauren, the Sagittarius woman. What does that mean? My Venus is in Libra? Oh, really? That's a good placement to have. Question, let's see what comes out. Okay, optimistic lover girl. Show me, what do they need to know? Optimistic lover girl. It's only 11:48. Why does it feel like 3 o'clock right now? Where are you guys from? Let me know. I mean, if you guys are weird about sharing your location, I totally get it. But I am from Washington State. And so right now it's 11:48 a.m. PST. But I am trying to catch people in different time zones. I'm from California. Brandon said it's almost 3 p.m. here. Show me an optimistic lover girl. What does she need to know? Something about money. 9 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, 2 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, okay, the Ace of Swords, the 8 of Pentacles. All right, slow down, lots of messages. Needing to separate yourself from a job. If you haven't already, you need to answer the call because it is something that's supposed to happen because it is impacting your health for whatever reason. I'm getting a sense of overindulgence. What is that about? Overindulgence. This could be literally anything. So say this is a job where there's a lot of treats in the break room or something like that. It doesn't have to be that specific. But I don't know, it's something about like the work environment is messing with your health, and it is apparently a spiritual call that you've had before that you might have ran away from, or you had like a more idealistic view of this job than you had a more idealistic view of this job when you first started out compared to where you're at now. Is that making sense? I'm separating myself from my older sister right now. She's very overindulgent. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. As we dig deeper, 10 of Cups here. Oh, so it's not a... Oh, okay. That's making your story a little bit clearer. So it's not just a work situation. There's a whole other situation with the family thing. So I guess apparently these are interconnected. I don't want to say issues, but scenarios, you know? So you got like a job situation going on, and then your sister family thing kind of pulling on your energy. My work is actually pretty decent. I'm fast for my job, losing some pounds for the job. I would be careful about that, actually. One second. From what I'm seeing, optimistic lover girl, the current job that you have, they're trying to push you out of that environment as well. So if I would suggest maybe being open to your job changing. They're saying that the way that you're losing weight is not good. Yeah, I get that. I know you mentioned your sister with the overindulging. However, the Three of Swords doesn't come out here unless there's like a health issue, at least what I'm seeing with the other cards. Yeah, I'm not... okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a Virgo moon. And so, before my spiritual awakening journey, I was a gym rat. I am one of those, yeah, like I, you know, wear Gymshark kind of wear. Like most of my clothes is gym clothes. So I know that there's a lot of diet fads out there. I've seen, heard, done all of it. There is a healthy way to lose weight, and then there's not a healthy way to lose weight. I share a lot about my health journey because I struggled with anorexia and body dysmorphia for most of my life. And I had a lot of health issues growing up. And so my guides, obviously, contact your doctor and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not a practitioner, but I will say the message that comes out in the cards would suggest that you are not losing weight in the way that I think your guides are wanting you to focus on. And yes, you guys, your guides will tell you when you're messing up. Like, for example, when I go on sugar binges, my guides, the way it'll manifest for me, all kinds of ways. It doesn't even have to be your guides. Your body will tell you. Your body will tell you by like throwing off your hormones and making you break out, and you're moody and blah, blah, blah. Those are just some small examples. But, yeah. Well, I don't know why you're here, optimistic lover girl, because it doesn't sound very optimistic. But I will share what comes out in the reading. And I find it kind of ironic because I was once also in denial about those kind of things as well. I'll just say that. Sometimes you gotta be willing to be humble enough to actually listen to a reading and a message, but don't come here and get all weird with me in the middle of your reading. Well, I don't really know how to move forward with your reading because that's what kept like wanting to pop up. You don't have to agree with me. You came to me for a reading. You don't have to come to me for a reading. Where did Brandon go? So, if you're on Instagram, I posted recently about how I'm only doing online readings. Because when I did local readings, there were a lot of people that projected onto me and projected their issues onto me. So, law of attraction, a lot of people will have like similar trauma or storylines, but they'll like get like really upset about the things I say in readings and like they swear that it doesn't resonate at all. And I'm just like, that. Well, then you wouldn't be so upset, right? But I know like those health things that pop up in people's readings, people get like super sensitive about it. I had like one very uncomfortable situation. I was reading for a fellow network that's a broker, And she was asking me for like some serious advice, and it was in regards to like someone that was in her family that struggled with like medication and mental health stuff, and she was like asking me on like what she should do about like the medication, and I was like, I'm not even qualified to answer that, but I will say what comes out in the cards. I will say what comes out in the reading. I will say what comes out and what your guides say. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the interpreter. So when someone says we don't have to agree, I'm not I don't have like any emotion towards your guys' readings. Like it's not about me. I'm just the messenger. So it's kind of like a don't shoot the messenger situation, you know? And it makes people very upset. What are some other stories I could share that have been like just like that? Who was Cinderella? I didn't see that person at all. I put her in timeout. She pulled hard on my energy and to get my attention, all to try to like basically try to you know how it is. I'm sure she'll end up coming back. I've never been wrong about these kind of things. When I started doing like readings for like my personal friends and whatever, I lost a couple friends. One in particular, he was like good friends with my cousin, but he was like having like girlfriend issues, and he got very upset when I told him the truth, and it ended up happening. And then he came back and tried to like say sorry. And then he got another reading from me, got upset again, projected his shit on me. And so I just blocked him. And I was like, whoa, why are you getting mad at me for telling you about what cards say? And then it ends up being right. And so, like, who's really the one with the problem? You know what I'm saying? People come to you with their problems and then you, like, lash out on you. And I'm just like, no thanks. I'm good. I'm like, well, then keep your problems to yourself. Don't get a reading. It's just, it gets really awkward as a tarot reader when you end up exposing things that they don't think are going to be exposed. Like, I've had situations and readings where people had third parties that were actively cheating on their partner, or actively not being in a committed relationship but sleeping with multiple people, or being married and actively trying to cheat, and they think that I'm not going to see that in a reading. That's really awkward, right? I can't help it. Sorry. Don't come to me for a reading if you're going to be fake. I don't know what to do about that. Sucks being a truth teller, doesn't it? I've had to learn a lot about like how to convey a message and to tell a truth. And maybe I wasn't sensitive enough for optimistic lover girl. Maybe not. But being that I share a lot of my vulnerabilities about my self-love journey on my weight and health stuff, I have no shame about that, but other people do. See? That's the truth. Does anybody else have a question? I'll just keep randomly rambling. I have all things I could talk about, to be honest. I haven't been sharing too much of what's going on in my personal life, except for on the close friends list on Instagram. A Reef 199. Hello, welcome in. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I'm a tarot reader and an intuitive coach for the last 6 years. We are doing free tarot questions. So a good time to get a free tarot reading from me Yes, please do. The chat is slow today, so I'm available for whoever needs a question. What are Sajal's current energies towards a reef? Am I saying that right? What are Sajal's current energies towards a reef? The Tower, Two of Wands, the Star, the Four of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Five of Wands, the Hierophant, the Magician, ooh, Page of Wands, the Justice. I'm not being mean, but I'm gonna keep it real. I wasn't being mean to her. I just said what was coming out on the cards. She's the one that came at me sideways. And just because I do free questions doesn't mean I'm a doormat. So there's one thing to be nice, but I will demand respect. Okay, you can go somewhere else. What is there to defend, bro? Yeah, that's the point of blocking someone. No one forces a reading. You come to me for a reading. Sorry, this person is invading your reading. So, we're just gonna, is Brandon here? We're just gonna let this person keep talking shit, since you're actually kind of helping me boost the algorithm. Miriam said that I was gonna have that issue. And it honestly, you guys, it's fine. It has to do with the moon. People are very emotional and sensitive right now. Cancer energy. So I will say that I should be more mindful of my role as a messenger and how sometimes my tone and delivery is not maybe conveyed in a way that's understood. I will say that. I will take responsibility for that, because that's the hardest part about being a reader. That's why I say not everybody should be a reader, because you're dealing with people that are dealing with trauma and wounding, and I might have triggered a couple people about that reading and comment, and I get it. I totally get it. I have so many stories I could share about my process. Like, I've been upset with my own mentor who does readings with me, and that's just something that happens, like, when you're so intimate and vulnerable with someone and they can see all the darkest parts of you. Like, you're gonna get triggered. That's just part of life. But what you do after, you know, she wasn't coming to me in a way that was working cohesively where we could understand each other. Optimistic Lover Girl was attacking me for a reading that she asked me for. So I'm not going to take that energy. That's what I will say. Ironically, coming from the Stop the Bowling today, except I didn't see you in the chat at all. A reading isn't an opinion, though. I was bullied a lot. Worse by the people that said that they cared about me and were my friends. I have 12th house hidden enemies. So I know all about projection And because I have that 12th house placement, a lot of people are intimidated that I can see through them. And it's not something that I can help, but it does make me a very good reader. I will say that. We've been stuck here because we got attacked in the comments. Oh, is that why? We might have to upgrade your what you call it, pin, remove, put user, blah, blah, blah. How do I upgrade you? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I gotta upgrade Brandon's what do you call that? It's not settings, but basically it's settings. So we were reading for someone, but then we got invaded by the comments. That hasn't happened in a while, you guys. I haven't got that kind of pushback in a while. And like I said, I'm going to blame the moon. It's in a very emotional wind. Oh, Sajal's current energies towards a riff. Okay. Gosh, what have we said already? Okay, so I think you would be surprised about how much this person wants to be with you. They do want to be in a commitment with you. I just see there's a lot of obstacles and other people going on in the way. However, I think it is going to balance itself out. There is a message and a conversation coming in about healing and what the future and the possibilities of it. There might be a physical move required. I'm hearing real estate. I tend to get the Two of Wands a lot when it comes to either physical moving, but also real estate and location kind of things. Travel also, I guess, but yeah, that's what I got for you. Sorry that your reading got bombarded. That was ridiculous. We got like a wave of triggered people on the algorithm. Is that what happened? 1209. I seen all the comments and heard the reading, and Lauren didn't say anything wrong. But I didn't say anything wrong either. So what was the problem? Who is Lauren? I think No Filter by LV needs to let it go, because it's funny how like none of these people were here during the video and yet they stopped to put their 2 cents in. That is funny. I wonder where the algorithm is feeding towards people. It must be towards the people that like a lot of drama. And you know what? That works. It's going to help boost the views. So the more you talk shit, it's actually helping. PS. Just because we're in the background doesn't mean we need to speak to you. And yet, here we are. Here we are. I think that energy needs to go find its people with your low vibration. New accounts? Who's we? That's what's weird. I don't know how that works, Brandon. How do you make accounts that fast? You're welcome, Arif. I thought we already dealt with that person. Well, I can just like hang out here until they get a life. It's okay, Brandon. I've like dealt with so much worse on Miriam's channel. Sometimes it just like all of a sudden you get a bunch of them. It's so bad. Sometimes I miss the Instagram lives because, you know, it only goes to your following. But here, none of those people were my subscribers. They were just all random people. Like I said, I haven't been on YouTube for very long. I'm more of a small-time reader. Not everybody can handle the truth, can they? Let me just get one thing straight. Because we were talking about this when Miriam was doing some digging into my chart, and me being a parent and running my son's YouTube channel as well as my channel and as a creator. This like projection of telling me what to do on my fucking channel, no, it's not gonna go, and it's not for me. I already dealt with that wound that I got from my fucking mom on how to perform and entertain other people. I am here for my own creative expression and freedom of speech. You can have your freedom of speech on your own damn channel. I will talk and cuss and dress how I fucking want because I made this. Now, if you want to put your energy and intention into what you want to make and create, and you think that you have something to say and share with other people, I say do it. Do it. But you're not going to come here into my energetic space and tell me what to do. I don't care if you're subscribed. You can unsubscribe. I don't have to do anything for you. And so I think it's going to be really freaking interesting when my son goes onto YouTube and he has to deal with his audience. And that's something that Miriam and I talked about. I was like, how in the world am I supposed to handle this as a parent when I struggle with this BS on my own channel? Like, and even outside of my own channel, you guys, I have local haters. There ain't shit you can do to me. I am divinely guided and protected. I've had a whole group and community of people try to take me down, but it won't frickin' happen because God's way, the universe's way, is protected. My purpose is protected. So yeah, you can like try to throw the evil eye at me. You can try to like pull me down with your words and throw me off and distract me, but it's not gonna last very long. It's not gonna last long. And so you might as well put your energy and intention into yourself instead of coming here and trying to control me. And yet people will try. People will try. And I'll probably go out on a rant about this again, you guys, because it's just something that I have as my life experience and something I've sat down with my spiritual mentors and looked at my birth chart about, and like, how do I navigate this? You know, like, people are always going to be triggered by me. You either love me or hate me, but either way, you're gonna benefit my life regardless. And I bet that freaking sucks to hear. I bet that sucks to hear that you benefit my life even though you hate me. Even though you throw shit my way, flowers grew. That sucks. I'd be mad too. End rant. Sarah 27. 27? Happy New Year. May this new year bless you with abundance. Yeah. Welcome in. Welcome to the tribe. All about that energy. Or were they here before? Sarha, I think I remember you. Yes, I'm an old sub. Oh, cool. Oh, Brandon, you're getting good at that. I love when you notice, like, people from the chat from the last lives. That's always cool. I try my best, you guys, but a lot of the times you guys change your usernames, and also my eyes suck, so I can't always see correctly. Yeah, we're doing free questions for as long as we can. I just kind of popped in today. We got like a wave of triggered people, unfortunately, but I kind of blame the full moon, to be honest, so it's fine. We actually haven't gotten that kind of energy in a while. But I remember like the first few lives that I did on YouTube, we got a lot of people like that. That sucked. I think YouTube changed it. My original username was my name. I hate IG. I only made it to talk to Allie. That's funny because I don't like even really use IG that much. But like I guess I consistently post on my stories, just like I kind of use it as like my daily check-in blog with my people without like conversating. Like that's kind of your like peep into the window of my life, maybe just a little bit, without having a full-blown conversation. I just like don't have the capacity to have that much conversations these days, to be honest. I feel like I've weeded that out of my life somehow. I know some people like have that craving. I don't. I already got that. I'm so tired, you guys. The at. Hi, can I post my question? Harshita? I feel like I recognize your username. Am I correct? Have I seen this before? Have you been here before? I don't watch any of the IG stuff. Honestly, Brandon, that's smart because Meta just be brainwashing, you know? I'm really trying to get away from the Instagram scrolling. It's really hard because I follow a lot of like my friends that do small business and stuff. But I feel like Instagram ends up hiding their posts anyway, so whatever. I just try to intentionally like visit for people like that I think about. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't remember if I have been here. Oh, okay. Well, welcome in. Hi, my name is Allie. I'm a tarot reader and an intuitive coach. We are doing free tarot questions today. I'm on a new app and I hide on it. Hi. Sarah, 27. Like 13, anything spirits want me to be aware in career? I don't understand your question. What does that mean? If I were to rephrase that, it would be, the spirit want me to be aware of anything going on in your career. Watch me get shut down on YouTube because of how much I just cussed earlier, you guys. It's like on a rant. And I'm like, oh, heck no. Let me just like push that energy out. Okay. Sarha, 27. Anything that spirit wants this person to know, be aware about in their career. Harshita, you might need to pop in your question again after I'm done with Sarha. What does spirit want them to know about their career? They said new information coming, first and foremost. Eight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Star, and the Eight of Swords, the Wheel in reverse, Four of Wands. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, Sarha. There is, I don't know if this is, okay, a few things. A date, an inspiration, but also a message. So I feel like I'm getting like 3 different storylines within this reading. Because they're, okay, they're all interconnected. Sorry, the High Priestess fell out over here. Hilarious. There's something about a reflection happening in your friendships, and it's something that you're needing to heal from. So if there's any kind of toxic, codependent, emotional patterns, this is what you would blame, aka yourself, because it's a mirror. And so this cycle won't be over until you recognize that. Spirit is trying to push you in a direction of a new friend group. If you've been more into working independently, that probably won't happen. You would probably be more in a collaborative teamwork kind of energy. There's something about healing that. So I don't know if this is something that you struggled with when you were younger or in your youth on like teamwork or working on projects with other people. But for whatever reason, I got like a vision of a desk, like one of those old school desks that have like one of those shelves inside of the desk. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And it has like a built-in, it has a built-in chair. You know, those old school, school desks, right? Okay, Sarha. Spiritually. And it's funny because we're in a full moon in Cancer, so a lot of people are thinking about how they feel at home, what makes them feel at home, and the kind of people that they would put into their home. Like, so if, I don't know why I'm hearing hosting, because not everybody hosts, but that's just an example of like, the energy people would be in right now is you want to surround yourself around people that you would be comfortable enough to invite into your home in the current state that it's at. Now, I think a lot of people don't have many of those people in their life. Now, if I were to look right now, turn my corner and be like, okay, one of my friends wants to come over in 2 hours. My home is not in a space where I would feel comfortable enough to invite most people over. And so there's some kind of reflection going on why that is. Is there procrastination going on? Are your priorities and your responsibilities up to par? Are you neglecting something? Is there a lack of self-love going on? Those are the kind of questions that are kind of running through my head while looking at the cards in your reading. I know that's like so freaking specific, but I got to get out of this. That was a lot of information. But keep us posted how that goes. Harshita. Show me Harshita. Like 14. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if it resonates for you. I like to see the journey and the process. You're welcome. Will we build a stable relationship with Surendhar? Surendhar? Am I saying that right? In the future, will they build a stable relationship with this person? Will they build a stable relationship with this person? Will they build a stable relationship? The Ten of Wands, the Two of Swords, the Hermit, and the Eight of Swords. Queen of Cups, the Six of Cups. Okay, two fell out. Beginnings and support. Is there a possibility to build a stable relationship in the future? Yes. It's a long road. It's a long road. Oh my gosh, you guys. Someone is harassing me on my iCloud. I literally got a notification in my chat that it looks like someone that was upset in the chat from earlier. Wow, people are really crazy like that, right? We'll have to publicly show that. No one does anything to me in the dark and gets away with it. Just ask my ex. My ex is still mad that he keeps getting exposed. And I'm just like, well, why don't you stop coming at me? Like I said, I'm divinely guided and protected. Keep messing with me. It's only gonna hurt you. I see a lot of frustrations coming up in your Hershita. Are you here? No, there are some problems. Yeah. I see there's a lot of things that need to be worked out. There are things that need to end for things to begin. But I don't see it not going there. I just think there's a question of loyalty and dedication because of the drag. Like, things feel very dragged out. However, the feeling of discontentment with the Four of Cups is meant for you guys to realize what you really want. What you really want. However, I think one of you is feeling a little trapped at the moment. However, it is more of a mental thing, not necessarily a physical thing. So it's not that spiritually it's not aligned. That's what I will say. Like, I talk a lot about like my success stories with my tarot clients and what it means to actually be in a marriage partnership and what that looks like in cards, because it's actually very simple and easy. What I see here is that it has nothing to do with the person in question. This person is the Emperor. So this is someone that you could build a long-term partnership with. And the possibility is there. It's in the energy. So it has nothing to do with him. I see it more being an external thing with you guys. And it has more to do with like outside forces, things that you have previously invested into. There are like strings and ties that I think need to be worked out. That's kind of what I see is going on there. But I hope that answers your question. He's not ready to take a stand because of his family. Oh, man. That's hard. That's a topic that we really got to talk about. The process of the transition of a man going from a boy to someone that gets into a long-term partnership and gets married, and men are meant to leave their family, technically, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of is difficult for people that are mama's boys, right? And I hate saying that because I'm a mother to boys, and my sons are technically mama's boys, and I'm just like, oh man, what is that going to look like when they start dating and stuff? Like, oh goodness, that's why I'm on the healing journey. Yeah. I see that he is going to make that decision for himself, but it is like a mental entrapment. Like, he feels stuck, but I would not force the situation to go any faster than it already has. I do see conflict in the energy because of the discernment that I don't think you're wrong. I absolutely do not think, Hershita, that you're wrong about the situation. Absolutely not. I think, you know, do you, boo. Put yourself in a good position, make good choices for yourself, and then this person will do the same when they are ready to move forward with you. That's what I will say. And like, I try not to lean too much on like the things I see on TikTok about like dating advice, and because I think the culture is totally rigged, you guys. But I will say there is a difference between like how men and women spiritually evolve. Absolutely. There's so many books that have been written about it over the years, like Mars versus Venus, those kind of books. But I will say that disturbing a man's spiritual process will only slow it down more. So it's just the way it is. I know it freaking sucks, but most like feminine and women coaches, when it comes to dating these days, they will say like women should put themselves first, because men will put themselves first without even asking questions unapologetically. And I do think there is something to that. Sorry to my male subscribers and followers, but you guys are made and created to be more selfish, okay? And it works in your favor, and the world is ran on it to run in your favor. It's just the way it is, okay? Hopefully someday it'll change and balance out, and I think it will, and I think we are seeing the process of that balancing out. But first we have to see the imbalance, and so we've been talking a lot about balancing out the collective consciousness with yin energy, and I think we all see that we need more yin in our life, right? We all need to go out in nature more, ground, meditate. People want to quit their corporate jobs for something that they're actually passionate about and good at, and something that makes them fulfilled and not something that just pays their bills. That's Taurus Libra energy. That's Mother Gaia energy, right? You're welcome. LOL, I feel attacked. Brandon, did you mention you had a question, or Vito had a question? Like 15. Kivinoli Iwami. What is going on? I wish I could pronounce that. Show me Vitoka. What's going on in this dynamic in question? Show me Vitoka. What's going on in this dynamic and this person in question? What do they need to know? The Judgment. When? I'm hearing it's just a matter of time. So the energy of a reconciliation is already in the cards. 7 of Pentacles, that's a waiting energy. So this person is still emotionally invested, if that's what you're wondering. I do think they still have feelings for you. At the same time, kind of emotionally walking away and detaching. But this person is caught up in blah, blah, blah. I want to say familial responsibilities. And then I'm hearing grandma and auntie, so I don't know what that's about. I'm also hearing lawyer. Why? Why? There's not a win. It feels like it's a divine timing issue. It's also something, got to be careful the stories that you tell yourself and the things that you're manifesting. All right, I got to get off, but I hope that answers your question. Juana? After Vito. You're welcome. Like 16, I'm investing a lot of energy in someone. Do you think he really feels something for me too? He's September 25th, 2002. Me, July 24th, 2003. Hold on a second. Sorry, I moved you. Show me Juana MC. I'm investing a lot of energy in someone. Do you think you feel something for me too? How does this person feel about Juana MC? Juana MC. How does this person feel about her, him? What's going on? Show me. Wait a second. That's too much. Ace of Cups. Page of Pentacles. That 3 of Cups. Did you see how many times that popped out while I was shuffling? Can't make this shit up, can you? Oh, there it goes. You're very talkative today, you guys. 8 of Wands. I heard in alignment. A High Priestess. Nine of Wands, Four of Swords. Okay. Yes, I do think feelings are mutual. I do think feelings are mutual. I do think this person thinks of you either right before they go to bed or before they wake up. There's something about that. And so whenever they do that, you have the opposite happening. So you kind of like have an exchange of energy thing going on. It feels like an intuitive connection. Would this be correct, Juana MC? I'm hearing Cupid's arrow. However, there is something about a wounding pattern and being overprotective going on, and possibly friend zoning. So I don't know if this is someone that's within your friend groups, you got mutual friends, or if this person was a friend first, or if someone ends up friend zoning. Like, I don't know if this is something that's already happened or if this is something that's in the process of happening. However, I think there will be like a redo eventually, and there will be more clarity on how to move forward. I will say that at the moment, you're not quite on the same page right now, but there is a connection. So I would continue to pursue it, yes. I hope that answers your question. Kushi K4K4L. Hey, I am a new subscriber. Can you please tell me what is coming towards me in the next 5 days? Show me Kushi K4L. You're welcome. What is coming towards Kushi K4L in the next 5 days? Nine of Swords, Nine of Cups. Okay. Two of Swords with the Nine of Swords. Page of Swords, King of Swords. Three of Pentacles, Five of Cups, the Hermit. Okay, very specific. What is coming towards you in the next 5 days? I would say a lot of overthinking. So be careful of that kind of energy. I would maybe look into and investigate. There's something about looking into someone that is giving you advice. So this feels like someone that could be like in a position that has a certification. So I don't know if you're having a conversation coming up with someone this week that's giving you some news. However, you might need to look further into this news, and I'm also hearing a second opinion. There's also something in regards to your health that you're not seeing. It feels like something that you could possibly be ingesting because Virgo energy is here. So Virgo energy, a lot of people don't talk about this, but has everything to do with what you consume. That's why this hermit is alone, because he doesn't even know who he is with all that consumption. So you got to be isolated for a bit and go through a spiritual awakening process. It's a whole thing, you guys. A lot of people don't talk about like the breakdown of Virgo energy, to be honest. They just see that this person, you know, climbs a mountain and, you know, thinks that they're going to be a monk or whatever. But the true hermit journey is the hermit that returns to the community. I don't know why they're giving me that specific message, but there's something like that about you. And this would follow the Pluto and Aquarius theme of a lot of people like going towards their soul tribe. So a lot of people might be either physically moving or emotionally moving away from people that they used to deal with. So last year was the year of the snake, so there was a lot of shedding and transformation going on. This year, year of the horse, is a lot of forward momentum. So we're going to be in a completely different energy. And you might feel like it's random, but I feel like you got soul tribe family coming back, and this feels like a process, so it doesn't feel like all within the next 5 days, but you might see remnants of what I'm talking about within the next 5 days as time goes on. Makes sense? Gosh, that was like so specific. Why was that so hard to get out, you guys? Why? I don't know. It was just news. It doesn't always have to be good or bad, does it? Only Virgo in my chart is South Node. Oh, really? Interesting. Oh, I had a package from Polly, but might wait to reveal that one. You're welcome. Yeah, stay positive vibes. Whenever we have like a full moon or new moon, you want to be like very mindful of your emotions, because also the moon reflects energy, so you can very easily manifest things that you don't want just because you're putting your intention towards a negative feeling or energy, or rumination, those kind of things, especially for people like me, where I have like a Jupiter moon. And so any thought, any feeling always expands. And so I get very specific and intentional. But I make that suggestion for everyone. I don't mind slower days. Like, I don't know. It's probably honestly, Brandon, because I am procrastinating on a lot of things. And Spirit is probably trying to get me to move my body right now. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, it might just be time for me to go, to be honest. Until next time, right? LANOR 189. You have a question? Yeah, go for it. Might be one of the last ones for today. What is your question? Let me know. Shakira is my name. How will January 6th go for me? That's very specific. The Boss Champ. Hi, welcome in. How will January 6th go for Shakira? How will January 6th go for Shakira? The World. The Ace of Swords. Seven of Swords. King of Cups. Three of Wands. Page of Cups. The Hanged Man. The Magician. Two of Pentacles. Seven of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles and the Death card. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down. Goodness gracious. Okay, very specific. I don't know if this all happens in one day, but gosh, this feels like a lot. Like, the cards were spilling. Did you guys not see? Here's what I will say is in the energy of that day. I'm not saying that this is all playing out in one day, but in your energy of January 6th, there's waiting for an apology from someone, or you're supposed to be giving an apology to someone. If it's not that, someone here is projecting onto you saying that you owe them an apology, but it's really the opposite. I don't know. There's some kind of emotional avoidance, and I'm also seeing that it might possibly come from a male figure, but doesn't have to be. I see a dysfunctional family dynamic and some kind of group or people or a person specifically that triggers you and throws you for a loop. There's some kind of shadow aspect here that you're ignoring or in denial about. And how do I want to word this? It's also one of those storylines, again, be careful of the stories that you tell yourself, because you might feel stuck and trapped in a scenario, dynamic, or situation, but you're actually not. It's more of a mental thing. And I'm also hearing gaslighting. So if you're someone that's been in like a psychologically and emotionally abusive dynamic with someone, whether it was romantic or family, like it might be one of those things where you're healing that. This is a very specific and deep message. Let me just say that what you're going through January 6th is a very long spiritual process. Give yourself a lot of self-love. Don't expect too much to happen that day. It's more of like a waiting for your ships to come in, and in the process just maintaining your energy. But I see the Ace of Pentacles coming in, so there being a new opportunity to do something different. However, I would be very careful, again, of the stories that you tell yourself, because I see something manifesting that you don't want due to denial or a cycle that you've been in before. So just be aware of that. Yes, I'm waiting on my test to come in. There's a lot of unknowns. That test might require you to also dig deeper, just FYI. So I don't think it's the end of getting an answer to whatever this is. Yes, I keep saying I'm going to fail it. Be careful of the stories that you tell yourself, because the moon is reflected here. So make sure, like, say that it does end up happening because that's the story you told yourself. Say you have to retake it again or something. Just make sure that you go into the energy very intentional without that fear. Otherwise, it can manifest that way. And I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. Like I said, I have a Jupiter moon, so it's very hard, especially if you're someone that ruminates or has like ADHD. Otherwise, it'd be all over the place, right? Can you imagine like living that kind of reality where everything you feel, think, and experience manifests right in front of you? And imagine like what kind of mind that person has and like how crazy that could be. Like the closest thing I could think of to like what I could visually express that is kind of what I go through with my Jupiter moon is Harold and the Purple Crown. Closest thing to it, I guess. Yes, that would be sick. Right? Yeah, unless like you're like the chipperest Mary Poppins. I don't know. Nothing bad ever happens to your life. I'm sure you can manifest some amazing, awesome things. But if you're someone that's like spiritually awakened, that doesn't mean you always see things as positive. That means you see reality. And sometimes reality kind of sucks, right? This is why. This is why. We're doing a whole program on the basics and foundations of manifesting because it's a lot. I wouldn't say it's like as difficult as people make it out to be. It's actually very simple. The way people go at it, sometimes I think they might be skipping over such a key element piece. Yes, ma'am. People tell me to be positive. I know. Yeah, boss, what was your question? The boss champ. I've been stuck in my life no matter how hard I work and nothing going on for so long. I want to know if I'm going to stay like this all my life. How is your username, the boss champ? But you're in that kind of energy. I'm just curious. Like, what's going on here? Show me the boss champ. What's going on in their life? How can they get unstuck? That's the tarot question of the day that I think like most people, like after all the questions I get at the end of the day as a tarot reader, it comes down to that. How can I get unstuck? That is usually what people are trying to achieve. And yet people don't word it that way, right? So this is a card that came out, Judgment. Okay, so I see that this is a spiritual awakening and a review that you've been through before. So obviously a review that you have not moved away from and being in a stagnant energy. And so the reason for it, 8 of Swords, it is a mental thing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The way you look at money, forcing yourself to conform to systems that do not suit you and fit you because it is basically what you were told, to be honest, and that's most of America, right? I don't know like where you live or where you're from, but that's what I'm going to refer it to. But I see that your situation needs more of a creative solution that's more uniquely fitting to you. And that has something to do with your South Node. So I don't know if you've ever done an astrology dig on yourself or you looked into your birth chart, but it is suggesting suggesting that you would find the information there. And you might be able to gain some more clarity. Your biggest problem I see are your friend groups and lack of support. So if you want to get unstuck, it might be beneficial for you to venture out, to get connected. 3 of Cups here. If there was codependency or friends holding you back or having too much influence in your life, I think that is something that will need to change for you to be unstuck. And there's something about resisting the things that you actually want, because some of the things that you want aren't due to your true desires. They're more due to a self-protection thing. Like there's something about, this has a lot to do with the money mindset, really. And so you might want to look at shadow work questions that you could ask yourself. And I was just posting this on my broadcast channel on Instagram. The full moon that we're in right now, full moon Cancer energy. The polarity point, don't quote me because I'm still an astrology student and I'm more of a data researcher, but I do know that Capricorn, I can't remember the specific words, but Capricorn is highlighted in this full moon energy as well. And it would ask us to get more practical about the way that we feel, making decisions from our emotional body space, but in a way that supports and sustains us in a practical, financial, maybe even business level. And so those are the kind of themes that I'm seeing here, where there's a money mindset issue. And so, you know, I do see that you have control over where your life is at now. You're really not stuck. It has nothing to do with that. And so maybe you just needed to be told that it doesn't have to stay this way at all. And that's one of my favorite things to, I'm going to say post, quote. It's not even really a saying, but I always say we're never stuck. And that's something I always tell my kid, because some of the things that we've been through, sometimes he'd say things like he feels stuck in a box. And that's something that I used to say when I was younger as well. And even in my adult life, it pops up in my romantic relationships. So you would be surprised, you guys, like 90% of my readings, Eight of Swords comes up a lot, because the biggest obstacle is yourself, and it usually has to do with a mindset. Brandon Bailey, yes, astro.com for your natal chart. Absolutely, highly recommend. Yes. The Boss Champ, because I want to fulfill my dreams and I work hard without results. I don't want to live my life like everyone in my country. I'm a star that off lighting, looking to be shining. I feel the people of my country, they are a stranger to my soul. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. I feel like I resonate so much with that comment. I know for me, like when I made the announcement that I was only going to read for people online and stop reading for people locally, it hurts so much, you guys, because like it's my hometown, and to have like people in my own hometown be, I don't know, harmful to me or not support me in the way that makes me feel supported or loved or whatever, like that hurts, right? That hurts. And so I think a lot of people are going through that. And like I said, I attract a lot of people that are meant to be outcasted from a group, and it's because you're meant to find your soul tribe family. And astrologically, we're in Pluto and Aquarius, so it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people are thinking about that, talking about that, noticing the contrast in their environment, or the people that they grew up with, or the people that they thought they were friends or whatever, and realizing that it just doesn't resonate anymore. It's not clicking. You can't force it to click, right? It is a soul recognition thing, and you can't fake that. Stories for Yash 293. How will my life go this year? Yeah, we're not going to do that, but we did do a YouTube live recently on 2026 predictions. So go ahead and watch your sign there. But nice try. You would get a very long reading from me right now. But that's more of like a personal question kind of reading. You know what I'm saying? Free questions, yeah. Get more specific though. All right, we've been here for way over an hour. I don't know when we'll be in next, since we're focusing more on Joel's channel and whatnot, but thank you to everyone that was able to stop by. Thank you to Brandon again for moderating. But I hope you guys have a happy Sunday and a good week. Until next time, bye.